Hi everyone, in this tutorial I will show you how to correct your cable knitting work. For example, you made a mistake with the stitch cross direction or you miss crossing stitches. You can still correct your knitting work even after completing the whole piece. In this video I will show you two different techniques how to correct the work on the one bed knitting machine and the other by hand if your piece is too long or your work on pass-up knitting machine. Before you begin, you need to steam the piece you are working on. The steaming will give a curly structure to the stitches after opening them. It will also be much easier to latch stitches back evenly without pulling too much yarn for one or another stitch. Please be extra careful with the heat if you work with synthetic yarn on the project. If your work still on the knitting machine, remove it on the knitting needle or waste yarn. Either way it works. If you use knitting needles, you may need a few of them. For this method, it will depend on where the mistakes are. Remove the work, turn your work and place stitches back on the knitting machine, as many as required. The cable facing you. If you have more than one mistake, use stitch markers to mark them. In this example, each cable consists of 3 stitches per row, therefore I have to open 3 stitches a ladder down at the same time. Use the latching tool and stitch markers to secure the stitch. Latch stitches as many as your cable pattern is required. Latch the first vertical line till the next cable cross and use the stitch marker to secure the stitch while you are working on the next line of stitches. Hold the next stitch with the stitch marker and work on the third line of rows. Cross the stitch over 2 stitches, latch the required amount of stitches till the next cross. Direct the stitch to the required direction. In my case, the stitch direction has to be in the middle, and continue with the stitch till the next cross. Once again, use the stitch marker to secure the stitch. Latch the second lines of rows till the next crossing point and keep the front crossing stitch to the last. You may already notice that I have only 2 needles for the stitches. In this design I have to decrease 1 stitch before plain knitting. These techniques make my ribbing design not too tight. It is more decorative than functional design, and that is different topic for another video. The correction work has been completed and you can see that stitches latched back very beautifully without any notice that the work has been corrected. Remove work from the machine into a knitting needle or use your preferable method. Turn your work, place stitches back on the needles and continue with your project. The following method is how to fix mistake without the machine. Open the required amount of stitches. As I have mentioned earlier, steam the piece first before opening the stitches. Use any tools that you prefer to ladder down the stitches. I use a crochet hook, it is comfortable to hold. Speed forward my work. Here we will use a similar method as we used on the machine. Use a latching tool and stitch marker to secure the stitches. Latch stitches as many as your cable pattern is required. Latch the first vertical line till the next cable cross. Latch the first vertical line until the next cable cross. Use the stitch marker to secure the stitch while working on the next line of stitches. Work on the second vertical line of stitches and secure it with the stitch marker again. And the third line of vertical stitches with the crossing stitch at the front always keeps to the last. In this work, the last stitch has to move to the middle after the point of crossing. You should direct the stitch in the required direction. Once again, secure with the stitch marker and work on the second vertical line of stitches. Cross the stitch over 2 stitches and latch the required amount of stitches till the next cross. You can also swap the first and the second line of stitches by latching the side first, after the middle line of stitches, and the last line with 1 stitch cross over 2 stitches stays the last. My cable correction is completed. I will have to latch stitches to the end of my piece. Thank you for watching. I hope you've had a great experience. If you like to see more videos in the future, please subscribe to be notified. Have a good day or evening, and I will see you soon.